Right, as of 1:15 recording, can the EFL, for the love of God, not postpone any more games, please? I think we've got 9 confirmed games. Let's get predicting them. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel today. It is match day 24 of the championship score predictions. We've gone past the halfway stage, so it means we're getting into the crunch time of the season. Most sides have played every single side in the division at least once, so this is going to be the first set of matches where they're going to play a side that they've already played in a campaign. So it's going to be very interesting to compare what's going to change from then and now. A lot of people have been asking me whether they want to have their FA Cup correct scores included in the Alexa's Hall of Fame. A couple of you did. I've not quite had enough time to sort this out. I'll show it with Monday's video along with the championship score predictions there as well. And I'll accumulate the Alexa's Hall of Fame accordingly to those FA Cup scores and the championship scores on Monday. So everything will be updated at that time. But if you guys like what you see, please make sure you do give this video a like. It's tremendously appreciated. If you haven't done, please subscribe to the channel. It'd really make my day. We're on 368. Let's try and push for 400 as soon as we can. Then to 500, then to 1,000. That'll be absolutely amazing if you can do so. And to do that, please share my channel to as many people as you can. All of that would really make my day. Without any further ado, let's start predicting, and fingers crossed we'll have all these games left by this time I'll do this video. So the first game is the early Saturday game, Middlesbrough going up against Birmingham. Now I think Sky picked this one because the last meeting between these two sides, it was a goal fest. But it was a goal fest favouring Middlesbrough, a side that was pretty poor away from home, putting 4 past a very, very sorry Birmingham side, where Neil Etheridge made a really big howler where he couldn't catch a corner. It was definitely be a goal that will stick into his mind for the wrong reasons. And Birmingham are not on a great run of form right now. They have not won in 8 games and have only picked up 1 point in their last 6. They have actually got the worst form in the whole championship. So if any side needs to turn around their form as soon as possible, it would be Birmingham, most definitely. And if they don't do so against this Middlesbrough side, who are notorious for being so tight at the back at home, 6 clean sheets in their last 8 home games, it's not going to be easy. This does have the capability of a 0-0 draw, following that both managers like defensive types of football, although I did predict that last time and it ended up 4-1 to Middlesbrough. So I'm not going to do that again. I'm instead going to predict a 2-0 victory to Middlesbrough because I'm more confident with their squad. Their fantastic home form, for the fact they're so tight at the back as well. I think Birmingham are really going to struggle to break them down. So I'm going to say 2-0 to Middlesbrough. FIFA 21 actually predicted a 5-1 victory to Middlesbrough. I'm not even lying here. If you guys want to see that full live stream, make sure you click on the eye icon somewhere here. Next up is Bournemouth versus Luton. Now, remember in the reverse fixture, I said that I did not expect this game to end as a 0-0 draw, and what happened at Kenilworth Road? It ended as a 0-0 draw. I said both of these sides scored goals within them, but they didn't even look like scoring in that game. There was barely anything going on with that game. I remember it well. There was little quality. And in fact, if anything, Begovic had to make more saves. Luton were the better side in that game overall. But Luton right now, away from home, are struggling with form right now. It's actually only 2 away points in their last 6 away games for Luton Town. So they're definitely struggling away from home. And Bournemouth right now, they've been somewhat consistent under Jason Tindall. Got a couple of injuries on their hand. But I think with the squad depth overall, just the overall quality that I've seen in that squad and the amount of winners they have in their squad, I think they could turn any team over. I'm pretty confident that Bournemouth may win this one. I'm going to say 2-1 victory. I think it'll be a little bit close because Luton will not make it easy. They've definitely got the squad players to hurt Bournemouth. But I think with circumstances considered, I'm going to say Bournemouth just about get a victory. FIFA 21 completely disagrees with me and predicts a 1-0 away victory to Luton Town, which will be a big win for them if they do get it. Next up is Blackburn going up against Stoke City. Now, I remember predicting this game and I didn't really give Stoke much of a chance, but they actually surprised all of us and got a 1-0 victory against a Blackburn side. Nick Powell getting a very, very early goal for them. And I think with this game overall, it's really not going to be too easy. Blackburn, of course, the top goal scorers in the championship, definitely can score plenty of goals at home. So it's not easy to get anything at Ewood Park this season. However, Stoke City, they've got a fantastic away record. They've got 6 away clean sheets in a row, albeit only 2 of those last 6 away games have resulted in wins. but it's really difficult to punch a Stoke, especially playing at home. So with this game, I was thinking there was going to be a flurry of goals, but actually, I'm actually going to say a 0-0 draw. I think with Stoke City, especially in their last 3 away games, it's ended in a 0-0 draw. I'm going to continue that pattern into this one. Despite how good Blackburn have been, they've been involved with a couple of 0-0 draws. I think to one when they played against Cardiff. I think this will be a very identical game to that. I'm going to say 0-0. FIFA is going to predict 1-1, which would have been my alternative result. So I'm hoping FIFA's not right. Now we have Bristol City going up against Preston North End. Now, are Bristol City finally going to end their curse against Preston? 15 games they played against each other. 0 wins for Bristol City. They need to somehow think of something because they're 10th place right now. And if they don't win tomorrow, they're going to really start slipping away. And then it will be back to where Bristol City used to be, in or around the mid-table, not achieving anything. As to Preston, they will be feeling very, very uplifted going into this weekend. Yes, they had a poor FA Cup defeat 4-1 against Wycombe, which was unacceptable. But their transfer business has exploded. Ben Whiteman, and he was a target for Preston. And not only did they get Ben Whiteman, they got him permanently on an undisclosed fee, some ambition from the board. Also, Alan Brown has extended his contract, one of the 5 Preston runaways with 6 months left of their contract has now extended the contract. But they still got a handful they still got to deal with. They've got Ben Pearson to deal with. They've got Daniel Johnson, especially with Ben Davies. If Preston lose either one of those in around the summer, they don't replace. It's going to be a bit challenging, especially with Ben Whiteman. He's a central defensive midfielder. Could he be a long-term replacement for someone like Ben Pearson, who could be getting a move away to maybe the Scottish League? It could well be the case. And it'll be a real shame if Preston can't do more to try and convince him to stay. But with this game overall, I think Preston will definitely be the favourites. They've had a pretty good away record. They have tailed off a little bit, but I do think against this Bristol City side, where they were pretty good against them at Deepdale, I'm going to say they're going to get 2 wins out of 2 against Bristol City with a 2-1 away victory. And FIFA 21 has predicted a 0-0 draw between the two sides. Next up, we've got Cardiff going up against Norwich. Cardiff really struggling for form right now. They're actually 20th place in the table in form in their last 6 games, with only 2 wins in their last 6 and with 3 defeats in a row currently. It's not good for Cardiff at the moment, and right now they'll start slipping away from any sort of accomplishment this season if they don't pick themselves up. And with Norwich, they're still first place in the Championship, although a couple of sides are starting to creep up on them a little bit. They did go with 2 games without a win, but then picking up a win against Barnsley, which was really, really big for them. They played against each other, obviously, very recently. 2-0 it finished to Norwich. Todd Cantwell scoring an absolute thunderstrike in around 25 yards out. It was a fantastic goal from Todd Cantwell, and I'm hoping we're going to see some more incredible goals like that. Of course, Cardiff right now, they'll feel a little bit bereaved following that they've got the news of Sol Bamba getting non-Hodgkin pneumonia, and they'll definitely want to be playing with a little bit of spirit with him in mind. However, against the Norwich side, I don't think they'll quite get the result. I'm going to say 2-1 Norwich, but I'm going to say Cardiff are really going to be determined to try and get a few results thinking of him. And FIFA 21 has predicted a 2-0 away victory to Norwich. So FIFA and I are both predicting some Norwich wins. Next up is Derby versus Rotherham. As a recording, it's just been confirmed that Wayne Rooney has officially been appointed as Derby County's manager. Obviously, he was interim and filling in, but he's officially their new manager now, which is big news actually. But Derby County right now are in absolute turmoil. Obviously, we've heard news about their takeover stalling a little bit. And we've heard the recent news that they are struggling to pay the first team players their wages. I think they've missed December entirely. And to try and repay those, they're thinking of sending their whole entire youth squad, or at least their star players in there. Max Bird, Louis Sibley, Jason Knight, Colin Kazim-Richards, all of those are going to be going out the door. And it's a real shame because that's a big characteristic of Derby Football Club, their youth academy. And if they get rid of the good parts of it, then they're going to lose their identity, which is a real shame. They play Rotherham, and they've not played Rotherham yet this season because the game they were supposed to play against them in their first game actually got cancelled due to a COVID outbreak in the Rotherham squad. So this is actually going to be the first meeting that these two sides are going to have this season. Rotherham not doing well in terms of runs of form right now. 5 defeats in their last 6 games. 23rd place in the form table. With this game, I think Derby, despite their really poor home record, the poorest home record in the Championship, I'm going to still say they're going to get a win. I'm going to now give Derby their second home win all season with a 2-1 victory, and FIFA's predicted a 2-0 victory to Derby. Next up is Nottingham Forest going up against Millwall. Both of these sides going head-to-head ended 1-1. I definitely remember this game where Millwall took the lead, but then Alex Maiton from Nottingham Forest got the equaliser. It was a fantastic moment for the youngster in Nottingham Forest to get his first proper senior goal for the club. I think we're going to see just as much competitiveness in this game than the last one. Nottingham Forest right now are definitely steadily improving under Chris Hughton. They have not lost in their last 5 games. I can definitely see Nottingham Forest starting to progress. It's going to be a very long fix, Nottingham Forest, because they've got such a bloated squad. And Chris Hughton just slowly but surely is finding an identity within that squad. And I think if they do that, Forest will steadily improve. Millwall right now, they've only lost 6 games all season, but they've only won 5, which is why they are in this position right now. Millwall need to stop drawing games and try and climb up the table, otherwise they'll be dragged into the relegation dogfight and they wouldn't even realise why. But despite that, I'm going to say that this game will also end as a draw, and I'm going to mirror the last result and say that this will end as a 1-1 draw. I can't really separate the two sides. If I were to back a side, then maybe it might be Forest, because I'm a bit more confident with their runs of form and their confidence right now, both obviously winning their games in the FA Cup. But I think they'll cancel each other out. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. FIFA21 has actually predicted a 1-0 away victory to Millwall. And I remember watching this on FIFA21's live stream. It was a last-minute goal. It was definitely a very dramatic game overall. We've now made it to Watford against Huddersfield. Now, this was the last game that Ivic was in charge of Watford, and it was a fantastic 2-0 victory to Huddersfield. Although Ben Foster did kind of gift them the first goal. It'll be one of those things that he definitely won't be putting in his YouTube compilation, I'll tell you that. We'll see how much they've progressed under Xisco Munoz though. And against Manchester United in that FA Cup, I dare say, Watford did look quite good actually, and did hold their own against a Manchester United side where, to be fair to them, they are top of the Premier League right now, although that could change in the weekend. And in terms of Huddersfield, they were absolutely cruising. They had 6 home wins in a row. That streak ended when they lost at home against Reading. Whilst they had a fantastic home record, their away record has been absolutely atrocious, not winning in their last 6 away games. So Huddersfield definitely need to fix that. But I don't think it'll happen in this game. Huddersfield have got a very strong record against Watford, although. But I'm going to narrowly edge Watford for a 2-1 victory. FIFA21 has predicted a 1-0 away victory to Huddersfield. FIFA thinks it's Huddersfield. I'll go opposite and say Watford. And the final game to predict this weekend is Barnsley going up against Swansea. Now, Barnsley got a really tough run of fixtures. Obviously, they played Swansea very recently, and their last game was against Norwich. So definitely playing the really tough sides, although they are holding their own a little bit. They only lost to Norwich by 1-0, and they did have chances, but unfortunately they just couldn't really take them. But they've got a second chance against the Swansea side, which they were beaten quite comprehensively by 2-0. Swansea were very, very comfortable and really in control. It was a fantastic home performance. With this game, Barnsley at home definitely have got the players to hurt Swansea. Swansea don't concede many goals, which has been a huge reason why they're up there in the table. Barnsley are definitely going to have to be on it in terms of winning the ball back, which they have done so very, very well. Use their work ethic and to really try and go through that defence. If they can do that, then they may have a chance. But Barnsley have not beaten Swansea in their last 6 appearances, so they've got a really poor record against the Swans. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw, actually. I backed Barnsley to get something, but if I was going to predict any other result, it probably would have been a 1-0 Swansea win. But I'm going to have faith with Barnsley that they can hold their own and they can restrict Swansea, because there's been a couple of games where Swansea have looked quite poor away from home. I'm going to back one of those games to be the case, that they'll be a bit sluggish. So I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. FIFA21 has predicted a 0-0, which I was also really tempted to predict as well. But that wraps it up for my championship score predictions. If you agree with me, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you comment your predictions to have a chance to be in the Leicester Hall of Fame and to get your comment included in the next video. But obviously, second part of the video, Premier League predictions. Let's predict these games. So we've got Wolves and West Brom right now. Wolves not scoring many goals. West Brom struggling a little bit. I'm going to say 1-0 to Wolves. West Ham and Burnley. I don't see much within it. I'm going to say 1-1, the battle of the claret shirt. Leeds and Brighton, the Ben White derby this. I'm going to say 2-1 Leeds. I think they'll just edge this one. Fulham and Chelsea, I won't lie, I'm not very confident. Fulham are somehow picking up consecutive results. They're unbeaten in 6, Fulham, so they've got a bit of resoluteness about them at the moment. So I'm going to say a 1-1 draw, actually. Leicester and Southampton, I'm going to say 2-1 Leicester, only just though. Sheffield United and Spurs. If Sheffield United get a big result there, then I can, hand on heart say, I might have some confidence that they can turn their form around. But I think Jose Mourinho will win it in a Jose Mourinho way. I'm going to say a 1-0 away victory to Spurs. Liverpool, Manchester United. I was thinking goals, but then I thought it's going to be an anticlimax. I'm going to say a 0-0 draw. And finally, Manchester City versus Crystal Palace. I mean, Crystal Palace is really good defensively against Arsenal, but I think against Manchester City, for me, they're just a completely different level, really. I'm going to say a 3-0 victory to Manchester City. But that wraps it up for all my predictions this weekend. Make sure you comment your predictions in the comments down below. But that wraps it up for today's video. If you guys enjoyed what you saw, please make sure you do give this video a like. It's tremendously appreciated. If you haven't done, please subscribe to the channel. It would really make my day. And if you haven't done, please share my channel. That's how I'm going to get popular. Let's try and push for 400 subscribers or 500 subscribers, then to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Or that would really make my day. But thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary if you saw the end of this video. And as always, take care, guys.